Terrell Klein, and you're watching another Supernatural review, and this is Season 5, Episode 19, Hammer of the God. If you're new here, I do a recap and review of every single episode of Supernatural, so let's get into it. So this is an episode I feel like you always remember. You kind of like remember this episode like it's the God episode, and you go into Season 5 knowing we have this episode, and this episode actually feels a lot different than like any other episode we've had, or like, you know, we're only 1/3 through the series, so I'm forgetting if we have like another episode like this. Like, I don't think so. Every so often we get an episode that just doesn't feel like, it just feels like different, but not like in a bad way. Like, it's like so different than Supernatural. It just like is unique in a way, and so like I always felt like this episode just kind of felt a little bit different, and that's why like I remember it more. I can't pinpoint exactly what makes it feel different, so maybe we can try to figure out here, but it's something where it's like they're not going after a case, it kind of just lands on them, which is kind of something that's been happening more lately with Serial Lies. It kind of just like lands on them. So something where they were wanting a night off, but they couldn't just get a night off. And it's so crazy too, because Sam even made this thing comment like a 4-star hotel. Like, it was not a 4-star hotel. You know, maybe 3-star, could have been a 2-star hotel, but that's not what a 4-star hotel looks like. Come on. You know, the only God we've seen before is the Trickster, so that's why it's kind of interesting that we haven't seen gods. And it's something that, like, you know, when you watch this episode, it comes up in your brain, like, what about all these other gods? So it like makes sense they had this episode. You know, in the end, like, the Trickster is, you know, it's not that God, it's an archangel, Gabriel, which is also smart to like bring him in, because he was the only God we were aware of, even though he's not a God. So it's smart that they brought him into this episode. But like, I'm trying to think, like, I feel like we don't really see gods that much in Supernatural, and it's something where, you know, they didn't initially wanted to show angels because they didn't want to get too religious, and I understand that as well. You know, and showing all these other gods, like, but it's something where it's like, I think they were talking about it too. It's like who they, whatever, but you know, it's fine. This episode kind of made sense. It's kind of crazy. They were like, the gods are coming together. They're like, we trapped Sam and Dean. Like, haha, we did it. Kind of surprised, like, angels don't, I feel like it's so easy to trap them. Like, why did it? Anyway, but they trapped Sam and Dean, and they were like, what do we do? Like, they were, you know, trying to figure it out. But I feel like you don't spend a lot of the episode trying to figure out, because then Gabriel comes, and then they're kind of, it's a little bit all over the place, I would say, this episode at times too. So it's a very like okay episode, because, you know, it's like interesting, unique, and has those different elements, but then it like sometimes feels a little bit all over the place. I mean, so it's like they find out that it's not the Trickster, that it's Gabriel, this archangel, and he's like on the Winchester side, which like, he wasn't on their side before, right? When they had that episode where they found out, that was the season 2 where they found out he is an archangel. It was oh my god, what is the name? Oh my god, what's the name? I'm forgetting it. You know, the one with all the different episodes, changing channels, yeah. So it seemed like he was not on their side in that one, and then he shows up, and then he's like, I'm on your side in this episode. But anyway, Lucifer comes, and he just like kills them all, but he's like not looking good. And then they kind of just like get away like easily, which is like, it feels kind of weird that they were just like able to get away so easily, but whatever. So anyway, Gabriel dies, and like that's the big thing. They like, an archangel dies, like they make a big deal about it. So I feel like maybe the writers felt like that was enough. Like, we have Gabriel dying, so like that's big enough to like, you know, make the viewer forget about like this, like they just easily got away, like, you know, distract them. But it's something where Gabriel and then leaves something for the Winchesters, and he explains about, you know, maybe you can't kill the devil, maybe you could trap him. And it's something that's like, how did no one think about this before? Like, you know, sometimes you can't kill someone, but maybe you could do other things like a trap. And especially like the cage he was in before, like, why weren't they looking into this before? But I think maybe they also wanted to do this episode, maybe it was like in the back of minds, like maybe other gods and stuff, and then they were like, you know, we need something. I think they knew how the season wanted to end. We trapped Lucifer in Sam's body. Spoiler. They knew how they wanted the season to end, and so they were trying to figure out like, how do the Winchesters come across this? Like, do they just search it? You know, whatever. And so it kind of they had it where it comes from someone who knows a lot, an archangel, that they, you know, not Raphael, not Michael. Gabriel's the other option. Maybe it's a big enough thing. It's like, you know, they believe him if he's dead, so that's why they killed him. And then they also had it where maybe they had this idea of the god, so they were able to incorporate all these things, and that's why it was an episode. Yeah, so it's something where they had to say this information, and they already have 2 of the rings, which they talked about, and so now we have 3-4 episodes left in the season, so that's enough time for them to go after the 2 more rings. We're gonna see that, so it's gonna feel a little bit more serialized, but I can't remember exactly those episodes. I feel like Death just gives him the ring. Am I forgetting that? But we're gonna get the pesto whatever one first, it seems like, with how the episode ended. So I think this episode, it also, you know, it's not bad because it ends with like this kind of like positive note where they have a plan, they have something that they can do. And so I don't know if at one point the idea was to trap with the vessel or no, it was always it had to be Sam's vessel. I don't remember when they were trying to figure out. Maybe at one point they wanted to do the vessels he's in now, and then it had to be Sam. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember every detail. I just know the season finale is so great. You know, it kind of makes our audience excited. Like there's a plan. Like it seems like we're in a good direction, and so that's why season 5. Like it's kind of like they have so many strong episodes that, like, you know, there are still a lot of okay episodes, but like so many episodes are strong that it's hard to compare, and like it's just interesting. I feel like I've seen such a difference with this season than the season before of what they're doing and everything, and so it's kind of overall like it feels like in the past few seasons, like even in season 2, like they didn't like have episodes to like the last 2 or 3 episodes where it's like, okay, now we have a finale, we have to do something. Like it feels like this time they like planned more in advance and we're trying to do more, but then it also feels sad for me because, or some other viewers as well, because we're having so many serialized episodes, so it's a little all over the place. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna be the episode, so comment below your thoughts. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.